most excellent vegetables to avert a heart's malady. The 7 noble greens picture, if thou wilt, arising at dawn, be set by a constriction in thy breast, gasping for the very air of life, or encountering a sudden whirl of dizziness. These foreboding omens oft herald a heart's dire assault, a malady that oft descends unbidden, without herald or warning. Lo, it is a lamentable truth that many a soul doth wander through life, blissfully ignorant of the decline of their heart's well-being, until fate doth strike with a most dire event. Lo, the quiet villain, atherosclerosis, doth lurk in shadows, a slow and steady accumulation of plaque within the arteries, hindering the vital flow of blood to the heart's abode. This treacherous course doth oft reveal no signs until it hath ascended to a perilous height, where life itself doth hang in the balance. Research doth unveil that nearly half of those afflicted with the malady of the heart remain unaware of their plight until they encounter a grave occurrence, such as a heart's fierce assault. Thus, it is of utmost import that we take heed of our dietary selections, for they serve as a bulwark in the preservation of our heart's health. In this moving visual tale, we embark upon a journey through the 7 finest vegetables, celebrated for their noble virtues in purging the arteries and safeguarding against the dread of heart's affliction. To weave these verdant treasures into thine daily repast shall fortify thee against the scourge of heart disease, whilst nurturing the very essence of thy cardiovascular well-being. First, let us embark upon the knowledge of garlic. Garlic, with its sharp and potent scent, hath long been a pillar of the culinary arts, cherished throughout the ages in diverse lands far and wide. Beyond its essential place within the culinary realm, this modest bulb doth possess a storied past, interwoven with healing virtues, most notably in the fostering of a robust heart. The Odyssey of garlic, a noble protector of the heart, doth commence with its wondrous bioactive essence, allicin. When the noble bulb of garlic is crushed or cleft asunder, allicin doth arise, unleashing compounds rich in sulfur, which are thought to bestow upon the heart many a boon most beneficial. These compounds doth reveal their noble virtues, exhibiting properties most potent against inflammation and the ravages of oxidative stress, a most treacherous foe in the realm of heart's afflictions. Among the many virtues of garlic, one doth stand out most compellingly: its power to sway the tides of blood pressure. Hypertension, that oft unknowing foe, doth bear the weight of peril, a harbinger of heart's demise and stroke's cruel embrace. Studies have shown that the frequent partaking of garlic may bring forth slight diminutions in the levels of blood pressure. This wondrous effect is believed to arise from garlic's power to summon forth the production of nitric oxide, a substance that doth aid in the relaxation and dilation of blood vessels, thus permitting a more harmonious flow of life's vital essence. In the realm of cholesterol management, garlic doth reveal its remarkable strength. Lo, the presence of elevated low-density lipoprotein, known as LDL, doth bear a heavy burden, for it is linked to a heightened peril of atherosclerosis, a malady marked by the hardening and constriction of the arteries. Studies doth suggest that the supplementation of garlic may bring forth a decline in both total and LDL cholesterol levels, thus perchance diminishing the peril of plaques formation within the walls of arteries. Beyond the immediate sway, it holds o'er blood's pressure and the cholesterol's fate. The noble garlic's virtues in thwarting the clots doth merit our discourse. When blood doth clot within the artery's embrace, it may summon forth the dire spectre of heart's demise. Garlic, that humble bulb of nature, hath been discovered to thwart the gathering of platelets, those minuscule heralds of blood, thus diminishing the chance of clotting's cruel embrace. This wondrous anticoagulant effect doth further illuminate garlic's noble role in the protection of our cardiovascular well-being. Garlic, fresh and vibrant, may grace a multitude of dishes, from humble salads to grand feasts, imparting its unique essence whilst conferring upon the eater bounteous healthful virtues. For those who might perceive the flavor or scent as most potent, aged garlic extracts or potions present a worthy alternative. Yet, it is wise to seek counsel from a learned healer ere embarking upon any regimen of supplements. To partake in the consumption of garlic, one must embrace a perspective most balanced and fair. Though its virtues be many, garlic is not a cure-all for every ailment. To place one's trust in garlic alone, whilst neglecting a comprehensive embrace of health, encompassing a diet most balanced, the vigor of regular exercise, and the wisdom of routine medical scrutiny, would be a folly most grave. Furthermore, those who partake of anticoagulant potions or who ready themselves for the surgeon's art must tread with care. For the blood-thinning virtues of garlic may heighten the peril of bleeding. In sooth, garlic doth serve as a testament to nature's wondrous grace, bestowing upon us remedies that are as savory as they are efficacious. Its incorporation into the daily repast doth not merely delight the taste buds, but also presents a mighty companion in the noble pursuit of a heart's well-being. As with all matters of import, temperance and contemplation dost hold the key to securing the bounteous gifts of garlic, that they may be reaped with safety and efficacy. Secondly, O fair fruit of the earth, the humble tomato. O fair tomatoes, with thy radiant colors and luscious tastes, thou hast been revered in the kitchens of the world throughout the ages. Beyond their culinary allure, these fruits of varied nature doth serve as bastions of nourishment, bestowing upon us a multitude of healthful boons, including the fortification of the heart's own well-being. In the very core of the tomato's noble virtues for the heart doth reside lycopene, a mighty antioxidant. The bearer of the fruit's deep crimson hue, lycopene hath been much examined for its part in diminishing the peril of ailments that beset the heart. It doth operate by quelling the free radicals, thus averting the oxidative tumult and inflammation, which are the chief architects of heart's affliction. Frequent partaking of fruits imbued with lycopene, like the humble tomato, hath been linked to diminished quantities of low-density lipoprotein, that which is oft referred to as the villainous cholesterol. In sooth, by diminishing the presence of LDL cholesterol, the humble tomato doth aid in the thwarting of arterial plaques' formation, thus ensuring a more fluid passage of blood and lessening the peril of atherosclerosis. Moreover, in addition to lycopene's vibrant hue, the humble tomato does provide a bounteous supply of potassium, that noble mineral which doth play a vital part in the well-being of the heart. Potassium doth aid in the regulation of blood's pressure, by counterbalancing the effects wrought by sodium's presence. In fair measure, the intake of potassium doth promote the casting forth of sodium through the waters of urine, whilst it doth soothe the tautness of the vessel walls, both of which lend their hand to the lowering of the pressures that besiege the blood. To keep the blood's pressure in harmonious balance is of utmost import. For lo, hypertension doth pose a grave peril, a harbinger of heart's demise and strokes most dire. Furthermore, the noble tomato doth harbor within its skin and pericarp wall a rare saponin known as ascoleocide A, a treasure most unique. Studies dost reveal that ascoleocide A may possess the power to lower lipids, perchance diminishing the serum levels of LDL cholesterol and triglycerides, whilst leaving the noble high-density lipoprotein, HDL, cholesterol unscathed. This doth imply that the frequent partaking of tomatoes may assist in preserving a commendable lipid profile, thus offering further protection against the maladies of the heart. The manifold nature of the humble tomato doth render it a most agreeable and delectable enhancement to diverse repasts. To weave the ruby fruit into thine daily repast, consider the ease of adorning salads and sandwiches with fresh slices, or blending them into a potion most refreshing, or savoring them as the foundation for robust soups and stews that warm the soul. To cook the humble tomato, especially when graced with a modest measure of healthful oil, such as the golden olive, doth enhance the very essence of lycopene, permitting the body to seize and employ this noble antioxidant with greater efficacy. In truth, the modest tomato doth represent more than a mere staple of the kitchen. Lo, a sustenance most noble, rich in virtues that does nourish the heart and fortify the vessel of life itself. In embracing the humble tomato within our daily repasts, we do not merely enhance our culinary delights, but also embark upon a noble quest to safeguard the well-being of our hearts. 3. O spinach, thou art a verdant marvel, thy leaves so bright and tender, hath long held a cherished place in the hearths of kitchens across the globe. At the very core of spinach's noble virtues in safeguarding the heart lies its bounteous treasure of nitrates. Once consumed, these nitrates doth transform into nitric oxide, a wondrous molecule that doth aid in the gentle relaxation and expansion of blood vessels. This noble process doth enhance the flow of life's crimson tide and doth lessen the burden of pressure upon the heart, thus granting relief from its weary strain. A scholarly inquiry, as revealed in the esteemed Journal of Nutrition Research, hath shown that the habitual partaking of spinach doth bring forth notable diminutions in both systolic and diastolic pressures of the blood amongst those who partake. Moreover, spinach doth abound in potassium, a mineral most essential to the well-being of the heart. Potassium doth assist in countering the effects of sodium within the mortal frame, thus lending aid to the regulation of blood pressure. A scant 2/3 cup of verdant spinach doth yield near to 600 milligrams of potassium, thus greatly aiding in the fulfillment of the daily recommended measure. The noble profile of antioxidants within the verdant spinach doth enhance its virtues for the heart's well-being. Compounds like lutein and quercetin do valiantly strive against the scourge of oxidative stress, a malady that may bring forth the ruin of arteries and, in its wake, the dread specter of heart disease. By quelling the tumult of free radicals, these noble antioxidants do preserve the sanctity of blood vessels and lend their aid to the harmonious function of the heart. To weave the verdant spinach into thine daily repast is a task both easy and most gratifying. Be it savored in salads fresh and green, or sautéed as a humble side, or blended into potions of health, spinach doth bestow a boon of nourishment upon any feast. Yet, 'tis of utmost import to regard the partaking of spinach with a measured and judicious mind. Though its virtues are indeed commendable, those who bear the burden of past kidney stones must tread with care, for the presence of oxalates doth warrant vigilance. Moreover, those who partake of blood-thinning elixirs should seek counsel from learned healers, for the vitamin K found in spinach may disrupt the course of their treatments. 4. Crimson-hued cabbage, a verdant delight of the earth. Though low in calories, the crimson cabbage doth brim with vital nutrients most essential. Lo, a solitary chalice, weighing but 89 grams, of raw and finely chopped crimson cabbage doth bestow upon thee a mere 28 calories, a single gram of protein, and 7 grams of carbohydrates. Furthermore, it grants 2 grams of fiber, and stands as a splendid source of vitamin C and K, delivering unto thee 56% and 28% of the daily value, respectively. It doth also bestow upon us bounteous measures of vitamin B6, vitamin A, potassium, thiamine, and riboflavin. Moreover, the crimson cabbage doth bestow upon us modest portions of iron, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, copper, and zinc, thus enhancing its repute as a food rich in nourishment. The deep hue of red cabbage, a regal purple, doth arise from its bounteous store of anthocyanins, a noble assembly of flavonoid antioxidants. These compounds thus bear a connection to manifold healthful boons, encompassing the abatement of inflammation and a diminished peril of chronic afflictions. Verily, studies do proclaim that the levels of antioxidants within the crimson cabbage surpass those of its verdant kin by a measure of 4.5 times. Research hath drawn connections betwixt a greater consumption of anthocyanins and a diminished peril of heart maladies. Forsooth, studies doth reveal that fair maidens who oft partake of fruits rich in anthocyanins may find themselves with a diminished peril of heart's affliction, by a measure of 11 to 32%, when compared to those who partake less of such bounteous fare. Furthermore, the noble anthocyanins doth bear a connection to the lowering of blood's pressure and a diminished peril of maladies of the heart. Red cabbage doth contain more than 36 varieties of anthocyanins, rendering it a most splendid source of these heart-nurturing compounds. In addition to the noble anthocyanins, the crimson cabbage does provide a bounteous supply of fiber, which may aid in the lowering of cholesterol's grasp, and potassium, a steadfast ally in the maintenance of sanguine pressure most healthful. To weave the hue of crimson cabbage into thy repast is a task both facile and advantageous. Its crisp and crunchy demeanor, coupled with a hint of peppery zest, doth render it a most delightful enhancement to salads, slaws, and an array of cooked fare. By embracing the crimson cabbage as a steadfast companion upon thy table, thou shalt revel in its manifold delights, whilst embarking upon a noble quest to safeguard thine heart's well-being. 5. Fiery pods of vibrant hue, the chili peppers dost ignite the senses. Their blazing spirit, born of the potent essence known as capsaicin, hath been the focus of much inquiry, revealing a multitude of virtues that shield the heart from peril. Lo, capsaicin, that fiery essence found within the vibrant chili pepper, hath been revealed to invigorate the flow of blood, fostering the widening of vessels, thus permitting the crimson tide to traverse with greater ease, whilst alleviating the burden upon the noble heart. This enhanced flow doth ensure that oxygen and vital sustenance are deftly conveyed throughout the corporeal vessel, bolstering the grand function of the heart's domain. Furthermore, the frequent partaking of fiery peppers hath been linked to a notable decline in the grim toll of mortality wrought by heart's afflictions. A thorough examination, unveiled within the pages of the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, hath scrutinized the sustenance and health chronicles of over 22,000 souls across the span of 8 years. The revelations did unfold that those who partook of chili peppers with a frequency exceeding 4 times within the week did witness a near 34% diminution in the peril of demise from heart's afflictions, when compared to those who seldom or never embraced such fiery fare in their repast. Chili peppers doth also partake in the grand dance of lipid metabolism. Capsaicin hath been discovered to assist in the dissolution of fats, thereby lending its hand to the reduction of cholesterol levels. By diminishing the presence of low-density lipoprotein, that bane known as LDL cholesterol, the fiery chili peppers do assist in thwarting the accumulation of plaques within the artery's confines. Moreover, the wondrous virtues of capsaicin, with its anti-inflammatory grace, does not merit neglect. Oft hath chronic inflammation been a known harbinger of diverse maladies that beset the heart and vessels therein. Capsaicin doth aid in the alleviation of this peril, for it doth diminish inflammation, thus safeguarding the heart and its vessels from harm's cruel grasp. To weave the fiery essence of chili peppers into thy repast is a most savory means to fortify the health of thine heart. In sooth, whether they grace the humble soup, the hearty stew, the vibrant salad, or the rich sauce, their manifold nature doth permit a flourish of culinary artistry that doth not only delight the palate, but also sustains the very soul. Yet, 'tis of utmost import to partake of them with temperance, for an overabundance may bring forth discomfort to the belly. 6. Lo, the humble broccoli doth grace our table. Broccoli, adorned in its verdant splendor, doth serve as more than a mere staple in the realm of wholesome repasts. It is a mighty companion in the noble pursuit of heart's well-being. To weave this noble cruciferous vegetable into thine meals doth promise great boon for thy heart and the flow of thy blood. Among the many virtues of broccoli doth shine its bounteous store of antioxidants and compounds that quell inflammation. These potions doth conspire in harmony to quell the fires of inflammation and the shadows of oxidative stress, both of which play a pivotal role in the affliction of the heart. Furthermore, the noble broccoli doth serve as a most splendid source of dietary fiber. A solitary chalice of cooked broccoli doth bestow upon thee approximately 5 grams of fiber, thus aiding in the fulfillment of the daily requisite. Lo, diets rich in fiber doth bear a noble association with a diminished peril of heart's affliction, for fiber doth assist in the lowering of cholesterol's burden and the fostering of a wholesome blood pressure. Moreover, in addition to its bounteous fiber, the noble broccoli doth harbor within its verdant form essential minerals, such as potassium and magnesium, which do play most vital roles in the regulation of blood's pressure. Potassium doth aid in the balance of sodium within the corporeal vessel, warding off the specter of hypertension, whilst magnesium, that noble element, is essential for the steady rhythm of the heart and the proper function of the vessels that carry life's essence. In studies of yore, the virtues of broccoli have been revealed, its heart-preserving qualities shining forth like a beacon of health. Studies reveal that the frequent partaking of cruciferous greens, such as the noble broccoli, doth bear a connection to the lessening of arterial calcification, a malady marked by the accumulation of calcium within the arteries, which may herald the dire consequences of heart attacks and strokes. In a scholarly inquiry concerning the elder dames, those who partook in greater quantities of these verdant offerings did possess more robust carotid arteries, thus hinting at a diminished peril of cardiovascular misfortunes. Moreover, a recent inquiry hath revealed that those who partook of broths crafted from cruciferous greens, such as broccoli, did witness a more pronounced diminishment in systolic blood pressure than their counterparts who favored soups of root vegetables. This discovery doth illuminate the noble broccoli's capacity to wield influence o'er the management of blood pressure with great efficacy. To weave the verdant broccoli into thine daily repast is a most delectable and adaptable means to fortify the health of thy noble heart. Be it steamed, roasted, or gracing the humble salad and hearty soup, this verdant treasure doth enrich thy repast, whilst bestowing upon thee bounteous benefits for thy noble heart. 7. O pumpkin, thou art a marvel of vibrant orange hue, transcending mere seasonal delight. Lo, a veritable treasure of nourishment, it bestows upon us bounteous gifts for the well-being of the heart. Among the vital elements that lend to the pumpkin's noble heart-cherishing virtues is its bounteous supply of potassium. A regimen rich in potassium doth bear a relation to a diminished peril of hypertension and stroke. Verily, a vessel of cooked pumpkin doth bestow upon thee some 16% of the daily counsel for potassium, rendering it a most splendid choice for those who seek to uphold the balance of their blood's pressure. In addition to potassium's grace, the pumpkin doth abound in noble antioxidants, among them beta-carotene, which the body doth transform into the cherished vitamin A. These noble antioxidants do strive to thwart the oxidation of low-density lipoprotein, that wretched LDL cholesterol. By hindering the oxidation of LDL, the humble pumpkin doth aid in preserving arteries that are both clear and supple. The fiber, abundant within the pumpkin's form, doth further augment its noble virtues for the heart's well-being. To weave the humble pumpkin seed into thine daily repast may prove most advantageous for the well-being of thy heart. These seeds, abundant in magnesium's grace, do serve as a vital essence for the steady rhythm of the heart and the balance of blood's gentle flow. Verily, a sufficient intake of magnesium doth bear a connection to a diminished peril of succumbing to ailments of the heart and vessels. Moreover, the seeds of the pumpkin dost offer wholesome fats and noble antioxidants, which in turn do fortify the heart's noble function and diminish the flames of inflammation. If thou hast found this video of aid, I beseech thee, strike the like button, for it doth greatly assist us in delivering further treasures of knowledge unto thee. Pray, bestow thy thoughts, inquiries, or the subject thou wouldst have us explore next in the comments below. Thy words bring us great joy to behold. Verily, I beseech thee, press the button of subscription and activate the heralds of notification, that thou mayest not forgo our most recent counsel and wisdom regarding health. Remain ever vigilant, preserve thy health, and we shall meet again in the next moving picture.